Hi, Terry here. Welcome to another video. If you remember way back when, some of the first videos that I made on this channel, I tried making a ancient Chinese handgun 75 caliber out of bamboo and rope. The results of that test were less than spectacular. Yeah, so I immediately went from that to iron pipe, and the results on that one were actually pretty amazing. Well, as interesting as that was, I recently saw a video about cannons, actual full-sized cannons, being made out of wood. And as it turns out, there actually are some historic precedents for this. There are some actual museum artifacts of cannons made mostly in Central Europe, late 17, early 1800s actually, of cannons being made out of wood of various types, ranging from solid tree trunks to wooden staves, and reinforced with everything from rope to rawhide, iron bands, and everything in between. And that got me to thinking. Many years ago, there was an old TV show, if you remember, called Mythbusters. And one of the myths that they tested was a story about some medieval villagers in Europe who made a cannon out of a tree trunk to try and defend their village against bandits. And the myth is that the cannon blew up and killed the villagers instead. So they decided to test that. Well, they made a full-size cannon out of a tree trunk with iron band reinforcement. And the thing is, it worked. It shot so well, in fact, they had to deliberately rig it to explode right at the end, just, you know, to have a spectacular ending. But the cannon itself worked. So that got me to thinking, bamboo didn't work, iron worked. What about a handgun made out of wood, a piece of wood, with rope reinforcing? Now, to my knowledge, nobody on YouTube has done anything like that. I did find one where somebody used a piece of wood with a steel pipe pushed down in the barrel, but just wood by itself, reinforced with rope. No one's actually done that. Until now. This is my medieval wood handgun, 75 caliber. It's a single piece of wood reinforced with natural fiber rope, and I actually made this in about 1 hour. Now the idea behind this is, again, we're a small village, okay? The neighboring countryside is being raided by bandits. We need to defend ourselves. We don't have a lot of combat-aged men here. It's a small village. We're not expert marksmen with a bow or a crossbow, and we don't have the money to buy handguns and cannons. We don't have anybody here with the expertise to make handguns or cannons. And we've got a blacksmith, but he's never made a handgun in his life. And we don't have the metal or the expertise to cast them ourselves. So we can't forge them, we can't cast them, we can't buy them made out of iron or bronze. So what can we do? Well, we got enough money to go out and buy some gunpowder, and then we can go out into the forest, we can cut some trees down. Well, this is a case of tree branch. Make rope, because everybody knew how to make rope back in the medieval period, and we could try making our own cannons and handguns. Now I cranked this thing out in about 1 hour. It is rough, but this gives you an idea of how fast something like this could be made. So a team of 5 people working one day could crank out about 50 of these things in a typical, average day. We could crank out more if we were under duress, but say 50. Now that's probably almost the entire population of our whole village. So imagine a group of bandits convinced that we're completely unarmed, easy pickings. You just ride in, you kill anybody who puts up any resistance, take whatever you want, burn all the huts down, you leave. And instead, when they get there, they find standing on the wall a load of villagers bristling with 50 of these things pointed at them. Considering the fact that surgery as we know it today did not exist, in fact, surgery in those days was more likely to kill you than cure you. There were no antibiotics, so even a minor wound could get infected, and people back then did not relish the idea of dying a slow, lingering, agonizing death over 1 or 2 weeks period any more than they do today. So just seeing these things pointed at them from the village wall could be enough to persuade a wandering gang of bandits to maybe look for some easier pickings. Question is, will it work? So I'm going to take this out to the test range. Going to run as many rounds as I can through it, and we'll see what it's capable of doing. So stick around. Quick disclaimer here. What the video that you're about to see involves the test firing of an experimental firearm. Experimental firearms can be dangerous. This is an historic replica. It's not something that I made up out of my own head. There are historic precedents for the gun that I'm going to show you. However, this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I do not advocate, encourage, or recommend that anybody experiment with any type of explosive or firearm at home, especially if you're not an engineer. Don't try it. You could get yourself seriously injured or killed, or even worse, you could seriously injure or kill somebody else. So, enjoy the video, but do not try this at home. And if you do try it, you and only you are solely responsible for any consequences that may occur. Okay, so I'm ready for my first test shoot of the wood and rope medieval style handgun. Now for this test, I'm going to be using slow burning cannon fuse to ignite it while I go stand behind a tree for safety. I've loaded it with 60 grains of FFF GoX and a handful of double-aught buckshot. And I've got it set up at a target, as you can see, at about 10 feet away. Now why 10 feet? Well, this is the first test shoot, and I'm not sure how fast that load of shot is going to spread out or how far it's going to go. If you remember, when I did the bamboo test, I never hit the target. I have no idea where that shot went. So I'm going to start kind of close, and I'm going to back up over the next successive few shoots. So very first shot, I have no idea what's going to happen. Well, let me show you what happened here. Can you see this? First of all, the rope came loose and it split right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me undo this. This was a one-trick pony, one-shot deal. I was actually expecting to get more shots than that, but with the first shot, it split open. And I'm going to show you the target in a minute. At 10 feet, completely missed the target. I have no idea where that shot went. But now, I don't know if you can see. You see that splitting across there? You can see it better here. You see that? So it can split it. You can see that. Split it from here, all the way down, all the way through here, all the way back to here. So it split it all the way down. This rope at the back is what I think, and at the front, is what I think kept it from just blowing apart. But one shot. Now, also another split here. Okay, so let's go look at the target. Okay, so I appear to have completely missed the target, even at 10 feet. And there might be one hit right here. That's looks like behind it, could be, but otherwise these holes were already in it. Amazing. This one could be one here. Hard to tell. But I guess what I have to conclude from this is that a wood handgun, even at close range, is not an effective self-defense weapon. So if I was a medieval village and I wanted to defend myself against roaming bandits and bad guys, and all I had was wood and rope, I'd kind of be up creek without a paddle, as they say. So a result, any result is a result, and we definitely got a result here. It was not what I expected though. Sorry. Okay, so what's the takeaway from this? Well, first, let me see if I can't, now that I'm in the shade, let me see if I can't give you a better look at how this thing's split. You see that split there, right there? See that? It goes all the way through, all the way down to here. Only this rope kept it from splitting completely open here and here. And here it blew it loose, right in here. So, and then also in the front, you see that? Yeah. So what do we learn from this? Well, as cool as this might look, it doesn't work. So you cannot build a viable, effective, even a single shot handgun from wood and rope. You're just going to need stronger materials. Now, this is a bit of a conundrum because remember that old TV show Mythbusters, in which they made a working cannon from a tree trunk. So why did theirs work and this fail? Well, first of all, they had a lot more mass. It wasn't like this. It was an actual tree trunk. The one they used was like, you know, this big around with a small hole in the center. And they used iron bands for reinforcing instead of rope. Rope has more flex in it. It's going to let the wood expand more and split, as this one did. So, as always, thanks for watching. Do not try this at home. These things can be very dangerous. Black powder is an explosive. And if you can imagine what would have happened had I been holding this and that rope hadn't stopped it, right? So, enjoy the video, have fun. Do not try this yourself. And if you do try it, remember, you and only you are solely responsible for the consequences of any actions that may result from that. Okay? This was an experiment. I'm not going to say it failed because I did learn something from it. And any experiment that we learned from was not a failure. So this experiment did succeed in that it did show us something that does not work. So, you know, maybe next time. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.